So you have someone who's a very experienced rider, but is also crazy on his motorcycle at all times, taking a 6-month rider with his learner's license across Canada on 2 rickety motorcycles that barely run anyways. It was a pretty good recipe for entertainment, I would say.
And then in the morning we tried to ride the 20 kilometers to Blind River, and I made it about 5 before the bike just complete failure and kind of started smoking and stopped.
You got towed a little bit?
Yeah, so then Jason hooked me up to his bike and towed me the remaining 20 kilometers to Blind River on just straddling the white line on the side of the road.
Oh my God.
About 75 kilometers an hour.
How are you feeling now? Are you so sad?
Sadness hasn't kicked in. We're kind of in the mode of how do we get home right now.
We were all heading out for a buddy's bachelor party up in the woods, a few hours out of town, and my bike broke. I don't know, it's always broken. And this guy, he just offered to let me use his bike, and he's like, I got an extra bike. Do you want to just take it? He was on his bike and a couple other buddies, and he rode up to the cabin. That was my first road trip too. My first time on the highway on a motorcycle. I was on this guy's bike. And that's when I started seeing him just riding in the ditch. We'd be on the highway, and I look over, and he's just in the ditch. And just riding on the ditch with this crazy grin on his face on a bike that just has the most bent wheels ever. And he's just passing everybody in the ditch. And back on the highway, mud everywhere. And pretty much knew we were going to be friends right from that point.
Yeah. Why would I want to ride an old motorcycle across North America? Why wouldn't you? It's the dream. I wouldn't want to ride a nice bike. That'd be boring. Everybody can do that. I want to ride something that I put my hands all over, that I'm, when you're on the highway doing 110, you got that in the back of your mind, like, did I tighten up that front bolt? Is that tire gonna stay on? That's exciting. That makes fun. You pull up to wherever, in front of some old saloon or some campsite or some old bikers, and you walk away from your bike, and you know that they're looking at it going, what the heck are these people up to? And to know that you can fix it. It's an old bike, it can be fixed. You don't have to worry about computers, you don't have to worry about fancy things like windshields and fuel injection. It's just your face is in the wind, and you don't have to go that fast to have fun on these bikes. And you can kick them, and you can spit on them, and you pee on it if you want to cool it down. And it's an old bike. And to do that across Canada has always been a dream. I've done little trips, but never something this long. And then to get to the end of it and go, oh, I did it. And to have that bike still there, and however many pieces you make it back with would be kind of cool. Then you can kind of hang it on the wall, or if it's good enough, do it again. Yeah. Everything can be fixed. I wouldn't say we're making them better. We're making them something. So I'm talking about this bike? It's a 1986 Suzuki Savage. They gave it that name for a reason. It's a single cylinder 650, so it just vibrates and thumps and it's loud.
Cowie's always the one at the gas station doing repairs very quickly. I remember him burning, like melting his boots off on the engine because both of his foot pegs broke off and he couldn't ride with them, so he had to switch and then ride his feet on the frame, which basically describes that bike in a nutshell. Like, it would keep going, but little crappy things would break all the time, and it was just kind of amazing that it took that much abuse. I mean, he went through like a couple engines and stuff, but you know, the bike's still going. It was amazing. Well done, Suzuki.
And it's kind of been my baby since I bought it. I put a lot of my heart and blood into it. Got a few scars on myself from cutting it and working on it, but yeah, fun bike. And so I've had that for 7 or 8 years now, and since I bought it, it's been through many changes. Choppers, cafe racers. Yeah, I ride it like it's a dirt bike. It's a full street bike, street tires, but I jump it, I raced it, flat track, I've done hill climbs, just beat it up, and it's never fully quit. I've had corks with it, but it kind of bugs all my friends when it just starts every single time. No matter what I do to it, it'll always run.
Cut a shot of us on the highway and your bike won't start.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to tell you more about Blake's KZ 440, but I've never seen the thing running. So I never really got to ride with Blake very much, mostly because I think all the bikes, he never really had his full license until... Wait, should I? I didn't have a license on the trip. Yeah. Am I allowed to say that on the thing?
Yeah, I kind of fell into the motorcycle thing by accident. I BMX'd almost my whole life, and one of my friends had his BMX stolen. He didn't have the money to buy a new bicycle, and I kept having repeated back injuries from the thing, and I kind of asked him, like, do you want to trade my bicycle for your motorcycle? And he agreed. So yeah, that's how I got the 1980 Kawasaki KZ 440, and it's kind of funny bike. It's, I would say, maybe more so designed for women, not as 6'2", 200-pound guy, but to me it feels like my BMX. It's small, it's really maneuverable, it's just a blast to ride.
So it was fun. I think even the day before was probably the most complete I ever saw the thing, other than the photos, and at that point it still didn't have any parts on it. It was just frame and engine, and I said, well, good luck, boys, and I went home, went to work. So you have someone who's a very experienced rider, but is also crazy on his motorcycle at all times, taking a 6-month rider with his learner's license across Canada on 2 rickety motorcycles that barely run anyways. It was a pretty good recipe for entertainment, I would say. The best part of it for me was that the week before, Blake had a Honda Goldwing that I thought was like, oh, this is amazing. Like, obviously Blake's going to take this Goldwing on this trip because it's running well. It's meant for these kind of things. No. Because there was no money, like, again, there's no 100% thing on this trip. There was 0 money for the trip, so he had to sell the only bike that was probably going to make it to literally pay for the rest of the trip. That last day, I remember walking into the garage and expecting, because I know these guys, like, they've been working for 2 days straight, like, not sleeping, trying to get these things going. And I remember walking in the garage and like, all right, well, I'm going to see the bikes, like, everything's going to be good. And I don't think it had changed in a month. It looked like everything was just parts still. And I was like, so you guys are, like, postponing this a week, right? Like, you're not gonna go. It's like, no, we're leaving tomorrow. Like, it's happening for sure. And I remember trying to keep as optimistic as possible, telling him like you could do this, like this is for sure you could do this. And in the back of my head, I'm like, there's no way any of these bikes can be running the next day. And I remember Blake specifically asked me, he was like, hey man, so like, what do you think of this trip? I was like, I think it's a great idea. It's gonna be so much fun. You guys are gonna do well. And he's like, no, but like, in all honesty, like, what are your actual thoughts on this trip? I was like, oh, you guys are nuts. I was like, it's not gonna work. Like, none of it, your bikes are still in pieces in the ground. I can't believe you're even thinking about leaving right now. And then I had to go home and go to work, and I remember getting a text at like 12:30 being, hey man, we got the bikes going. We took them for a little test drive, and I'm sure they're fine. We like rode out on the highway in the pitch black. They're like, the lights are a little dim, and things aren't working here and there, but I'm sure it'll be fine. And sure enough, they took off the next day.
Have you ever met Miss Lindy? She's a gal with the bright red hair. Now she stands high from all the rest. You know her anywhere. Well, she's mine. Yeah, she's mine. Well, I love that little girl with the bright red hair. Well, Miss Lindy, my Miss Lindy. Well, I love that little girl with the bright red hair. Have you ever seen Miss Lindy? She likes to dance all day, and when she does rock and